per se. So we're going to want to keep our bottom half just as comfy as possible. You can even sit on a chair. All of these are appropriate options. Of course, as with all yoga, we listen to our bodies. Before we get right into it, I'll introduce myself. Hello, Robin, thank you for having me. I'm Lou, just down in Sheridan. I do travel quite often and teach classes here and there. It's been a bit since I've been to Gentle Healing, but like to take the summer off-ish and transition back into like these classes, fall, winter, and whatnot. So my background, I originally went to Rishikesh, India, and this is where I was really like launched into the yoga scene. I knew I wanted to know about yoga. I wasn't sure why. So I learned tons from Yogi Vishwajit Hettu. He travels actually within the United States and Canada now, teaching at like Telluride Yoga Fest and all these big yoga festivals. So it's kind of fun to see him do this, as I really was, initiated into this lineage, over 20 years ago. And then happenstanced upon that tradition of Kundalini. And Kundalini, of course, is a word that is found within all of yoga, right? You've heard this, and it's not just particular to that of Kundalini yoga per se. This was a name that was kind of assigned by the gentleman Yogi Bhajan, who brought Kundalini yoga, his variation of which, to the Western world in the late 60s, LA and whatnot. So you'll see a lot of Kundalini yoga as taught by Yogi Bhajan. That's not necessarily where I spend my time. I like to bring in all of this classical knowledge as well. It is truly, though, just that of an energetic yoga. So if we're familiar or have heard about the chakra system, we do focus on the main 7 chakras that run up and down the spine. So we'll be working with this energetically today together. And of course, if you have any other questions about this, I'd be more than happy to answer at the end. I do want to also bring our attention and our awareness to a couple of different breathing practices that we may not necessarily be familiar with. So the first one is going to be that of breath of fire. And breath of fire is a very diaphragmatic breathing practice. It focuses more on the navel pump when we're exhaling. So you can just try this out if you'd like to right now. Get your lower half comfy. Just a nice comfy seat, kind of arriving in our space. And we're going to stick out our tongue like that of a dog, and we're going to pretend we're panting like a dog. And you'll notice when we're panting like a dog through the mouth, it's really beginning to move a lot of energy. Ideally, when you understand the cadence and feel that navel pump happening without any tension in the shoulders, you can bring this into the nose. And as we take an inhale in, we may suspend on the inhale and engage that of the pelvic floor, a slight Kegel energetic pull, and exhale, release. So you can feel that breath of fire really start to heat. This is why it's referred to as breath of fire. Also traditionally that of Kalabati breathing. So this breath is very stimulating. So if we're feeling, it's not going to be stimulating today, just go ahead and return to long, slow, deep breathing. A lot of emphasis on the breath, as I'm sure Robin has taught you already. So always coming back to the breath, allowing the thoughts in the mind to just kind of, linger. We're not attaching to anything. We're coming back to that breath constantly and throughout. And the postures and arm movements, primarily, that are found within Kundalini Yoga are meant to challenge your nervous system. So we're all familiar with the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic being that of fight and flight, freeze or faint. Parasympathetic being that of rest and digest. So these postures, sometimes we'll hold our arms up for 3 minutes, let's say. And during this time limitation that we find, or, see if you can hold your arms for 3 minutes, it's meant to challenge the sympathetic nervous system so that when you come back down into that easy seat, we can find that integration period between the, oh my gosh, when is this going to be over? I'm so uncomfortable, to, oh, finally it's over, allowing yourself to come back. So it's this very intense fluctuation between sympathetic and parasympathetic that we see within these postures. So we're going to experiment with these today. Is there any questions so far? Okay. Just kind of jotting any of those questions down if anything does come up. We're going to be using some mantra today as well. The tongue being the root of the vagus nerve, that one of the 12 cranial nerves that are very influential over the parasympathetic nervous system. And we'll do a final meditation at the end that uses mantra and voice. So before we get started, I actually did attach to this a file. I don't know if you'd like to bring that up on the screen. This is just the invocation that we use to tune in. So it is that of the Adi mantra. It's very similar to using that of Om. So Om is that universal vibration, that frequency that connects us with divine. This Adi mantra, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, is very much the same as this. It's acknowledging, it's connecting with all of those teachers or people who've loved you into being. It's connecting with the golden thread of ascended masters. So we will chant this 3 times. You're welcome just to listen. We will also go into the Mangalacharan mantra, which is that of more of a protection mantra. These words come out of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib. This is a book of the ancient Sikhs found within India, the Punjab state. And the Sikhi tradition has been woven into that of Kundalini Yoga within the Western United States. It's one of my favorite pieces to this type of yoga. You may not see this anywhere else. This Mangalacharan comes directly from the Mool mantra, which is the opening or the root, Mool being the root of this ancient script. This is something that traditional Sikhis chant every day. So Ad Gure Namahe, Jugad Gure Namahe, Sat Gure Namahe, Siddhi Gurudeve Namahe. And this is really acknowledging all 3 times, past, present, and future. So you can envision yourself being surrounded in the 4 directions as we chant this 3 times, directly after the Adi mantra. So go ahead and get comfortable. That was a lot. We're going to arrive in our seat and we're going to really experience this within our body and see what it has to offer us today. Rubbing the palms of the hands together. We're opening up the palms being a connector to the heart space. We're going to bring the thumbs into the sternum. A very intentional Anjali Mudra, prayer position. And begin to breathe into the nose and out through the nose or the mouth. Slowing down, unwinding, arriving. With each exhale, you begin to ground down through the sit bones a little more. And we'll tune in 3 times with the Adi Mantra, 3 times with the Mangala Charan. You're welcome just to listen or chant along. Taking one more inhale and exhale. And inhale to prepare. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Ad Gure Namahe Jugad Gure Namahe Sad Gure Namahe Sri Gurudeve Namahe Ad Gure Namahe Jugad Gure Namahe Sad Gure Namahe Sri Gurudeve Namahe Ad Gure Namahe Jugad Gure Namahe Sat Gure Namahe Sri Gurudeve Namahe. Inhale. If it feels comfortable, you're welcome to suspend through the inhale, containing your energy, engage Mula Bandh. You can also flip the tongue and press it against the roof of the mouth, and exhale, release. Hands come to the knees. Just sit within this vibration for a moment. Noticing any shifts from when you started and now. That's okay if there is none. Bringing the palms of the hands to the knees, beginning to move into our Siriom, our divine grind, inhaling forward, and exhaling, rotating around the sit bones, just beginning to bring your awareness into your body. On this side, and then allowing the hands to help guide you in the opposite direction. Softly allowing the body to come back into stillness, rotating smaller and smaller into the center. Let's go ahead and stretch the legs out in front of us. toes point towards the ceiling. You're welcome to sit on a block or a blanket, lifting up through the hips. Inhaling through the crown of the head, you're welcome to lift up through the arms as we softly fold forward. We're breathing long, slow, and deep, our hands coming to wherever is comfortable. Breathing into the upper belly. Feeling into the back body, you're welcome to bend through the knees. We're doing our warm-ups for now, so just breathing long, slow, and deep, and enjoying what the body has to offer today. Very intentional inhales and exhales. To jump in, just allowing the focus to come back to the breath, come back into the body. Taking one more inhale and exhale. An inhale, rising back up to center. Let's slowly bring the soles of the feet into meet. Wherever they are in front of us, you're welcome to grab that of right below the knee, the shin, the foot. We're going to begin to bounce through the knees here. So we're just moving some energy. There's not necessarily a right or a wrong breath. You may feel your breath become a little bouncy in cadence. Breathing into the inside of the legs. You'll notice with some postures, it might feel like a patting the belly and rubbing the head type of a posture, a very influential posture between the hemispheres of the brain. You might feel that here. Really envisioning yourself connecting with that of the earth through this posture. It's a very stable, very supportive. We're working with the legs, the feet, the base of the spine, anchoring yourself down, down, down into the earth. Go ahead and bring those legs to stillness and just sit in stillness for a moment, noticing what you notice. Taking one more inhale and exhale. We'll bring the knees up to meet, and let's roll ourselves over to our hands and our knees for that of a cat-cow. You're welcome to bring a wedge underneath the wrists. If the wrists are tight, we face the eyes of the elbows in towards each other to help support through the muscles rather than the joints. Setting ourselves up here, finding that nice straight spine from the tailbone through the crown of the head, maybe dropping the chin slightly. And then we'll begin our inhale, our belly to drop. We look up, our hips come high. We're engaged through the belly button to protect the lower back. And an exhale to arch. An inhale, belly to drop. And exhale to arch. You're welcome to gaze at that third eye or the ceiling as your belly drops on the inhale. And we're warming up through the spine. You can start as slow as you'd like. And we're being very intentional. We're inhaling fully through the nose and exhaling fully through the nose or the mouth. And when you feel that spine begin to warm, the cadence of your cat-cows may increase in speed, along with the breath. And we're not losing integrity of the posture. We're just allowing energy to begin to pump from that navel space up to the heart space. Let's take 3 more wherever you are. And when we drop our belly next, let's inhale and let's fill all the way up. And then we'll exhale to arch. We'll bring the knees come wide, big toes to touch, child's pose, relax and release. The hips come down and back. Your forehead, third eye rests on a blanket, block, or the floor. And we just surrender forward here for a moment. Staying connected and present with our breathing, feeling the expansion in the back of the heart, the back body, the sides. Surrendering that of the mind to that of the heart. Really enjoying this rest. Being grateful, maybe allowing gratitude to bubble up in the heart space. I'm grateful to be here in this container, being held. And as we take one more deep inhale and an exhale, our awareness coming to our hands. As our hands help guide us and push us back up, sit it on the heels if possible. You're always welcome to come back to the easy seats, or if you'd like to place a blanket, a blocker, bolster. We're going to move through that of spinal flex. Our hands resting on our thighs in front of us. We're going to inhale and thread the heart through. Exhale. This is very similar to a cat-cow. Inhale and exhale. We're tipping through that pelvic bowl. We're also keeping the chin as parallel to the floor as possible. If our head goes up and back, we increase that of air. So we're not necessarily looking to increase air. We're just looking to inhale into the heart and exhale. Your hands can guide along from front to back. Just feeling what this feels like in your body. Let's take 3 more here. Then coming back to center for an inhale, inhaling up. Feeling that energy coursing up and down the spine. And an exhale, release. You're welcome to drop off of the heels, coming back into an easy seat. So we're going to begin to move through what is known as a Kriya within this lineage. I'm sure you've heard the term Kriya Yoga. Kriya is just simply a set of postures that we participate in to possibly invoke a certain energetic effect. So we're going to move through the Kriya for elevation, a briefing of the Kriya for elevation. So to begin, we're going to move into what is called aura charger. So our hands are going to come thumbs out, fingers curl, and our arms are going to lift to 60 degrees. Now, of course, if we have shoulder injuries or anything that is prompting us to keep our arms lower, we can keep our elbows in. You can also move back here if need be. You can also bring the arms down and continue with the breath. So from here, we're going to begin that breath of fire. So relaxing the shoulders down the spine. Let's begin a breath of fire. Go ahead. You can start with that panting and then move it into the nose. Open those arms up into a little bit more of a triangle shape. So you can imagine this connection from thumb to thumb over the crown of the head. We're literally charging ourselves. A fun, light, playful, bouncy breath. Continuing breath of fire if it feels okay. If you start to get dizzy, coming back to a long, slow, deep breathing, keeping the arms high. Or you can continue with the breath of fire and bring the arms down for a little break. Now we're challenging ourselves here. We're coming in from the solar plexus, the belly button, and we're seeing how long our arms can stay up. Without injury, without any pain. We're halfway there, you're doing great. starting to feel maybe some tingling, totally normal. Let's inhale. Let's bring the thumbs to touch over the head. Stretch up, lengthen up. Fingers come high above our head. Stretching through the fingers. And an exhale the hands through the aura, cleansing and clearing. Hands coming to the ground to ground yourself back down and just feel what's happening. Moving back into stillness, back into your heart space. Begin to allow the neck to roll, drawing big circles with the chin. And slowly allowing yourself to rotate in the opposite direction. And rotating smaller and smaller, coming back to stillness in the center. Just noticing. Our next posture, we'll either bring the fingers right over the front of the shoulders, thumb and back, armpits open, arms up. You can also bring the hands in Gyan Mudra out to the side. This is a very, very subtle spinal twist through the thoracic spine. We'll be keeping the head and the neck all in one line to the sternum. We'll inhale very slightly left, exhale right. Inhale left, exhale right. Through the nose, moving as fast or as slow as you'd like. Staying very grounded through the sit bones. We keep the head, the chin all in line with that sternum and chest rib cage. Armpits stay open. We're allowing the armpits, the lymph to move. This is called washing machine. Very proper. Now with the arms still lifted, come back to center. Let's inhale. Let's fill up, suspend, engage, we'll bond if it feels comfortable. And exhale, release. Sit for a moment. You're welcome to bring your hands back down to the knees. Always moving through the legs if you need. We're continuing not to do much with the bottom half. Taking one more inhale and exhale. Our next posture is something you may have never seen before, as these all might be. Our arms hang out to the side. Well, we bring the arms high. Our wrists hang limp to each side. We're rolling back through the shoulder blades. This is a very heart opening. And you may have guessed it, we will move into a breath of fire. So a fun, easy, playful belly breath, exhaling, beginning with that pant of the dog, if it helps you to engage. And then moving that into the nose when you're ready. Continuing to relax through the shoulders. We're not tensing. We're not forcing the air out. You're doing great. We're almost there. Of course, bringing the elbows down if there's any shoulder injuries, any tension in the neck. An inhale to fill up completely, like a balloon, arms out by the side. And an exhale, relax, let it go, palms face up, open to receive. Breathing here. Noticing any shifts taking place, any sensations arising in the body. We'll take one more inhale and exhale. Hugging our knees into our chest, we're going to help ourselves down onto our back. So rolling like a ball, or just simply coming onto your back in whatever transition works the best for your body. We'll hug the knees into the chest here. Allowing the head and the neck and the shoulders to stay supported on the ground. We're going to bring those knees up just slightly to allow for that belly to expand for, once again, a breath of fire. Let's try it lying down, shall we? Beginning to pump through the belly. The knees giving the belly space to move. And we're either working with or not that of gravity. Relaxing through the shoulders and the neck as we continue Breath of Fire for just a smidge more. Inhaling to fill up. And exhaling, hugging the knees into the chest. Returning back to long, slow, deep breathing. You're welcome to rock back and forth, massaging through the lower back. And then bringing the soles of the feet down onto the mat, coming onto each side of the mat as the knees come into the middle. So feet farther out to the side, knees meeting in the middle. Let's begin to windshield wash our knees back and forth. Allowing the breath to continue to recover long, slow, and deep. And as we move slower and slower, we get softer and we allow the legs to extend out long, finding a nice neutral spine. You're always welcome to place a bolster under your knees. As we come down, down, down into that of Shavasana, corpse pose, a complete relaxation, rest. Our awareness maybe stays on our breath for a little bit. And then it begins to release as we soften, as our body might start to feel like it wants to fall asleep. As we allow the body to get softer and softer, heavier and heavier, completely letting go. Not passing any judgments or having any attachments to what's come before. We lose track of where our body ends and the earth begins. Only coming back to the physical space when you hear the chimes. Very slowly bringing your awareness back to your breath. Inhaling to wiggle through the fingers, to wiggle through the toes, allowing the arms to stretch up like you're stretching and waking up in the morning. As the knees begin to bend, we rub the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands together, reconnecting our electromagnetic field. And then hugging the knees into the chest. You're welcome to drop off to one side or the other. You're also welcome to rock and roll through the spine. In whatever case, whatever your body's feeling today. Feeling the support and groundedness. As you roll over a little farther, your hands help guide you back up to an easy seat for our final meditation. And getting yourself comfortable here. We're going to move through that of Kirtan Kriya. This is a meditation where we'll move our fingers as we chant, or sing along, or just listen to the following bij or seed syllables. Sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma. Our hands can rest palms face up as we say this, as we move our fingers along with the mantra, the music. Sa, ta, na, ma comes from the word sat, nam. Sat is that of satya, truth. Nam is that of name. Truth is my essence or my name. As we move through this as well, it's representative of the cycles of life. Life, death, rebirth, and infinite. So this can also be intertwined into our focus point. We'll listen to the mantra in the background and chant along, staying in this very serene, meditative movement. begin to whisper. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Let the words go and just move the fingers and listen. And allow yourself to sit in silence, still vibrating. You're welcome to stop moving your fingers and just meditate. Taking a deep inhale and an exhale. Rub the palms of the hands together. Bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra, the sternum. Connecting with your heart, connecting with your soul. We'll close the sacred space this morning with that of one long Sat Nam. Truth is the essence. My name is truth at the very core. Let's take an inhale and an exhale. An inhale to prepare. Sat Nam. Sat Nam, friends. I'm so happy to be here this morning. I'm grateful to Gentle Healing.